My children's home has been targeted since Christmas Eve. You'll see pictures here of masked people holding Antifa flags outside of our property. You'll then see Twitter profiles that continually threaten violence against my family. This has been continued. This then resulted in the police coming to my home to tell my wife that people are planning to throw acid in her face. That continued where the next recording you'll hear, the police are telling my wife specifically the name of the organisation and the serious harm they wish to cause our family.
Don't know the full ins and outs of it, but basically to inform that a group call themselves Antifa UK.
Yeah.
Heard of them?
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of haven't. And Antifa Dundee, it basically says they're planning to hurt or possibly kill Tommy Robinson because they know where he lives and want to silence him. They've got their hands on, it says they've got hands on some AK-47s, made petrol bombs and stuff. And allegedly say they're going to put these petrol bombs through your door when he sleeps. They say they're also planning to attack a few MPs.
Now, at the heightened tensions with multiple Osman warnings, they now take back the radar phone, the one option we have to go direct to the police, and they are removing it at this current moment.
Where are you from? I'm from the counter-terrorism policing unit that Carla works with. Okay. So Carla and I work very closely together.
So look, what did you just say? Basically, the radar phone or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The phone, the emergency phone.
We'll be taking that back.
You'll be taking that back.
Yeah, those phones are
you
designed for a. No, I'm not
are you
taking
for
that.
real? Like so when there's a heightened threat and people have come to the house and the address has been put out where my kids are, you're then going to take the panic phone back.
I feel they were purposely trying to provoke me into a reaction. Now, many of you would have seen last week when a group supported by Mike Stutchbury came to the home that my wife and children were in on a Sunday afternoon when I wasn't even in the country. So let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, who calls himself a journalist, who promoted this event, who shared it and encouraged it, who found it amusing that my wife was so scared she had to ring the police. Now take this for a second. My wife has been sat down and told in her home that Antifa are planning to kill her. They're planning to kill our family and harm our family. She's been told that she may get acid in her face. Well, how do you think she felt on a Sunday afternoon whilst my children are playing outside on their bikes? To be told that Antifa were on their way to our home. When I say Antifa, you've seen the previous flags. You've heard the death threats. Let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, the man that sent them. Here he is self-admitting that he is part of Antifa. Here he is promoting violence against his opposition. Punch them, punch them, punch them. Here he is hoping that buses full of Antifa get shipped in to smash people's skulls in. Here he is calling for white genocide. Mike Stutchbury is an extremist. He's a far left extremist who currently is playing a victim. He encouraged people to come and he sent people and was part of an organisation that communicated together to send people to the home where my wife and children were when I wasn't there. He even crowdfunded to support them in their action. Now, all you would have read in the media, because the media supported this, all you would have read in the mainstream media is Tommy Robinson got served legal papers. First of all, let's look at the lawyer that's serving me legal papers. He represented Shamina Begum. You know, the jihadi terrorist that's out in Syria? He represented, I think, Michael Adebolajo, Lee Rigby's killer. He's banned from claiming legal aid because of his fraud. I think he's even had to change his name because he's got such a terrible track record. So this is the lawyer who's suing me and who the media celebrated that he had served me papers, even though I wasn't in the country. Just so people are aware, on the Friday afternoon, recorded delivery, legal papers were delivered to my wife. So on the Sunday afternoon, when they've already been delivered, and they know they've been delivered because they've been signed for, a stunt was coordinated between an organisation called Resisting Hate, the Muslim jihadi lawyer, Mike Stutchbury, and the far left in general. A stunt to intimidate my wife and my children. So then we know who the Muslim lawyer is. we know who Mike Stutchbury is. Let's look at the gentleman, Richard Coughlin, Dick Coughlin, or Richard Harris, as he's called. Let's have a look at the man that they sent. The man that you can see the Muslim lawyer handing privileged documentation, giving this man my children's home address. That's what he done, fully aware of the serious danger my family are in. And he hands them my children's address. They then come to my children's home. My wife gets a phone call. My children run off the drive. They lock themselves in the house. They ring the emergency 999 call for the police to come. They press panic buttons. They need support because Antifa are coming. They came, they told the Muslim lawyer, he's fully aware they're coming to live stream where my family are. They live stream and dox the name of the road. They doxed the door number.
I went up to where a number and they said, right, we'll take that from him, we'll make sure he gets it.
They doxed the area.
Okay, folks, we're here. I'm about to, me and Murphy are about to pop off.
My family put in serious, imminent danger. The man specifically chosen, he was chosen. He says in his own video.
The lawyer in this case was a guy called Mohammed Sanimi Akunjra, who works for a solicitors in London called, I shit you not, Farouk Bajwa and Co. Solicitors of London. I get asked by this guy that they've decided that they're going to, Tommy Robinson is going to be served legal papers so he can be sued by this family. And they asked me, do I want to be the one to go along to serve the legal documents?
He was chosen by the Muslim lawyer because he made a real controversial video insulting me. So he specifically chose a man who has completely insulted me to come to my children's home on a Sunday afternoon, to dox their address. Let's have a look at the man they sent, who was working with a group called Resisting Hate, who came accompanied by the Daily Mail. This is all according to Mike Stutchbury. Daily Mail, The Guardian, an independent documentary maker, Panorama. That's who came. They came. Let's have a look at who Dick Coughlin is. Let's have a look at some of the things he said. Here he is promoting hatred against black people. Serious, this is a crime. The comments he makes are a crime. Here he is promoting hatred against Pakistanis. Here he is singing a song promoting anti-Semitism. Singing a song about lampshades being made out of Jewish people's skin from the Holocaust.
What just break the mic? Oh, psych! Holocaust. Everybody makes a noise. If you're in the Auschwitz, you can go in the gas chamber, then we'll throw you in the pit. We're just following orders, man. We're trying to get paid. You might get out of here, but you'll be a lampshade.
This is the man that was chosen to come to my children's home when I wasn't there. This was clear provocation. They doxed where my family are. They scared and intimidated my family. Now, Resisting Hate work with these troll accounts. Such troll accounts like Joker and Monkey. Here you'll see clear evidence of Roanna from Resisting Hate, the face of Resisting Hate, the same one who sits with the leader of Tell Mama, the Friends. You'll see her saying clearly she's friends with Joker. Then you'll see the comments by Joker threatening violence and murder against children and families. This is a campaign of hate aimed at silencing opposition with full sanction and permission by the police because they make no arrests for any of these crimes. And while this was going on, if any of the media reported any of these things about these people, any of the media, they've all just acted like I've received a legal letter. A legal letter is supposed to be bought by couriers, signed for couriers, like had already come 2 days before. And then how has this been used in Parliament? When I come home, I went to see Mike Stutchbury at 10:30 at night. That's when I got his address. And I knocked on his door on my own. Come on, Mike, I'm on my own, mate. There's not 5 of us. It's just me, bro. I wasn't threatening. I knocked at a man's house who had just terrified and been part of a coordinated effort to terrify my family, to scare my children. And then members of Parliament completely ignore everything that's happened. None of them report any of the things that have happened. The fact that this man's called a journalist, He calls for white genocide. He promotes violence. This is the reality of journalists now in Britain. Crimes that I've never done. Things that I've never said. I'm deleted from all the social media. I don't promote violence. I have never promoted violence. Yet here's a journalist that all of the media and all of the politicians, he's getting comments from politicians saying, solidarity with you, Mike. Solidarity with the man who has just doxed a children's address. What about solidarity for my babies who had to leave their home? What about the solidarity for my wife who was left terrified in her home as a crackhead, a self-confessed, racist, anti-Semitic crackhead was sent to my children's property with a group of masked people, including journalists? What is wrong with this country? That's the level of corruption in our media. That none of them have reported any of this. They've all just attacked me as though I've terrified innocent people. I've reacted. I walked into, to be honest, because you know the next morning, I went to Mike Stutchbury's house at 10:30 at night. Here you'll see pictures the next morning at 10 a.m. You'll see pictures of Mike Stutchbury with John Sweeney. This was all pre-planned. This provocation. How do we wind Tommy Robinson up? We know. Let's send a redhead crackhead. Read the comments that Richard Coughlan said. That he actually said these words. He talked about raping my wife in her skull socket. He talked about my children being fed through a meat grinder. He talked about burning my house down whilst masturbating with my family in it. This was the man sent with the media by lawyers to my baby's home. And then maybe I did walk into it because I believe all of this conspiracy, all of this is to get me to react one way. And I fell into it because by going to Mike Stutchbury's house, he's then sitting with Panorama playing the victim. Look at terrible Tommy Robinson, how he scared me in my home. No mention, of course, of probably what he's just done. And the next day, when I'm moving home for my children and moving their stuff, when I go down the road and I find a van sat there, and I approach that van and I ask them what they're doing. You'll see the video of this now. Who's in the back of your car? No one's in the back. Who's in the back of your car? You're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. I'm not moving. Let me see who's in the back of your car. Tell me what you're doing in my house. I want to know what you're doing, bro. That's all I want to know is what you're doing. I want to know what you're doing. It's the second car. Pull over then. Pull over then. Pull over. Go on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Show me who's in the back of your car.
There's no one in the back of the car.
So what are you doing then?
We're not here, anything to do with you.
What are you doing then?
Well, what do you think we're doing?
I think it's something to do with me.
No.
Who's yours work for? So what are you doing? And there is someone in the back. I know there's someone in the back. So what are you doing here?
What do you think we're press or something on media?
I don't know who you are. That's what I want you to tell me. Go on, tell me what you're doing. You tell me what you're doing then. Because essentially I've got threats against me.
I know you.
Yeah? So what are you doing here? If I turn it off, you're going to tell me what you're doing. At the point when they tell me to turn my camera off, they then reveal to me they're police officers. I ask to see his warrant badge, which I see. I then go round and I open the side of his van. At which point I put my camera back on, which I'm frustrated about. You'll see the registration plate. You'll see the man, it's actually a wig he's wearing. I've got police officers sat with a recording, in a recording van. In the back of this van is a recording station. I'm not standing, you're not going, no, because what you're doing, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. They're sat in the back of their van. This is recording devices. The whole of this back thing, because he just opened it up when I got him out, the whole of this back thing is recording where they're pointing there because what this is has been a setup. These police officers setting me up. They're setting me up. It's a setup. They're setting me up by sending people to my house because they think I'm going to react and do something, and they're recording it with listening devices. They were sat on my road waiting with full listening. The whole back of the van was a recording studio. How many other people, why have I got police officers sat recording everything I'm saying in my property? Because I speak about Islam. Because I show up the establishment. Because I showed up BBC in their fake news. Let's just recap. Let's have a look at what's happened since Panodrama, the expose of the BBC for creating fake news, for trying to set me up. What's happened since then? Removed from Facebook, removed from Instagram. Then, orchestrated and coordinated together, a group of people are sent to intimidate my family. I'm supposed to react. Then the media use this all against me. And then it's used as a campaign to get me removed off YouTube by politicians in Parliament.
Every major social media platform other than YouTube has taken down Stephen Yaxley Lennon's profile because of his hateful conduct. Late on Monday night, Yaxley Lennon turned up at a journalist's home, banging on the doors and windows, demanding to be let in. And after being escorted away by the police, he returned at 5 a.m. and continued his intimidation. The incident was live streamed.
Then the police are sitting recording outside my property, hoping to get me saying something criminal. All of this is their attempts to silence and stop our resistance. And then now, after 5 months, the day after I video these police officers secretly recording my house, the day after, they weren't there for my protection, trust me. The day after I do that, the Attorney General decides after 5 months to recharge me with the same crimes I've already spent 2.5 months on solitary confinement for. The same crimes that no other journalist or no one else in this country has ever been tried for. I'm being tried for breaching Section 4 reporting restriction. The same weekend I breached that so-called reporting restriction, so did 3 other journalists. I have the evidence and transcripts from court to prove that. None of them have faced prosecution. This is politically motivated persecution in order to silence dissident voices. And this isn't about me, Tommy Robinson. This is about setting an example. If they can do this to me, who else stands up? At the minute, this isn't about me, this is about you. This is about every one of you. If they can take these actions and do this targeting to me and my family, they can do it to yours. There's only one thing I know, and that's to fight back and to continue with your support. If you haven't signed up already, please do so at www.tr.news.